Good morning, Tom's River, Ocean County, New Jersey, and all of America. I'm Dr. Barbara Schneider, here today live on Radio Free America, the station that speaks the truth.
That's right.
It is Saturday, January 18th, 2025, and it was thought enough for me to get here. Okay, so as usual,
Good morning, Jeanette.
I would like to thank Dr. Michael Catchmore for the use of this wonderful modern studio. I'd like to thank Jeremy sitting across from me.
Yay. Barbara, Liz, Jeanette, they're all rolling in here now.
Thank you for coming on. I have missed you all terribly.
Yeah, thanks for being so patient with us. You're the best fan base we could ever hope for. Barbara Babes forever.
And I'd like to thank Dr. Gabriel Jasper for sponsoring me and Harmony. Hi guys. For sponsoring me on WOBM.
Yeah.
And Paul, the man behind the curtain,
Really
who makes it all happen.
Yeah.
Thank you all.
He is definitely the great and powerful Oz.
And through this horrendous cold snap we had and will have in the future, I'd like to thank my son Sean, my daughter Charlotte, my brother Commander Peter Schneider, and Leo Perlmutter, the Marine, for helping me out when I needed it most. For those of you who are wondering why my brother Peter and I have the same last name, in addition to my children.
Wait. Hold up. His last name is Schneider.
Correct. That's because I married a man with the same last name.
As your maiden name?
Yes, I never had to change my name.
How have you never told me that? We've known each other for years. How have you never told me? How does that never come up? It's crazy, right?
Yeah, isn't that interesting?
Wow.
So, yes, we all have the same last name. I never had to change it. And, it was easy with the licensing, you know what I mean? Yeah,
that
what
had to have been
happened.
streamlined marriage, right?
It was like, whoa.
That's a no-brainer. Great.
So, as always, I would like to start by plugging the local businesses.
Good morning, Paul.
Hi, Paul.
We just said hi to you, buddy. We love you.
So, they are on life support thanks to the previous outgoing administration.
Yeah.
They do an amazing job. And to start TSF disposal, dumpsters, cleanouts, demolitions. Okay? They're a 5-star company. Please patronize them.
Everybody thinks your last name and yeah. That's great.
Yeah.
That's great.
C&G.
What are the odds of meeting a man, falling in love with him who has the exact same last name as you?
And that was a blind date. You know, back in the day, this was before social media.
Yeah, and dating sites.
Yes, some guy knew my dad and his dad, yada, 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 and blind date, and we got married 6 months later.
Very nice. Love at first sight then, huh?
Yeah.
That's great.
So C&G Country Cafe, Tom's River Heating and Air Conditioning, that's the Petty family. Please patronize them. For your beauty needs, there's Frank and Maria's, I coif, on Fisher Boulevard. There's Salon Allure on Route 37, and a shout out to Luann, praying for her recovery. She's doing well. She could do better. Prayers help. And Harmony Salon up north.
Harmony.
They're already tuned in.
That's our girls there getting their coiffs done as well.
And on the local farms, which have been taking a beating from the EPA and the illegal regulations. There's Silverton Farms in Tom's River. That's Tommy Nivison, Big Tom Nivison. It's an organic farm. There's Sugar Maple Jerseys, Sickler Circle View Farm, Triple C Angus, Cherry Grove Farm, Clover Valley Farm, Hidden Creek Farm, Farm on the Point, and Springdale Farms in Cherry Hill. And it is a pity that these small businesses have been targeted by the corrupt Biden administration. These people, these small business people, are out every day. And as you know, the cold last week and the week before was crippling.
Yeah.
I had trouble being out there 5 minutes. Of course, I'm in, the old gray mare. She ain't what she used to be. But, Tracy, who works for me, every day I ask her about Don Lascola, her husband, and he is out there in the frigid cold
Oh my God.
every day, just like Sean is out there with TSF Disposal. These guys
God bless
are
him.
out there in the freezing cold to put food on the table. And I really don't know how they do it. I worry about them. And they should be blessed for what they do and the stamina to do it, and not trashed on by the current administration.
Right.
So just to
Right off the bat, we got local news. Stay inside, deadly cold. And then underneath, anyone with livestock? If it wasn't for the wind, it wouldn't be so bad. They said take it with stride.
so yeah, I gotta tell you, I have some livestock. I'm on a farm.
Mm-hmm.
And I needed help. It was, the water's frozen. You got to haul buckets of water.
Yeah.
It was brutal. And next week it's going to be brutal again. Okay. So, yeah. So we have a new president being installed on Monday. Thank God the inauguration is indoors. Okay. So how it is for these guys
Building
to work
custom
outside.
homes. Yeah.
So I am grateful that the inauguration is indoors, because I'm sure there were assassination attempts planned, no doubt by the Biden administration and the corrupt DOJ, FBI, Secret Service, everything like that. And y'all know how supportive of Trump I've been.
Yeah.
But here we discuss the positive and the negative.
We've all been.
And what I want to start with is the Israel-Gaza deal. This is the art of the deal, Mr. Trump. Shame on you. It is the shameful betrayal of Israel. Let's go back to the history. So Trump had Iran on its heels. Biden comes in, lifts the sanctions, and enriches Iran by $100 billion. They are a state sponsor of terrorism, and what did they do? They armed Hamas. And on October 7th, they attacked Israel and committed atrocities that were so horrendous that Israel refused to put them on social media. They brought in a slew of reporters to show them the films that the Hamas terrorists took of slicing off women's breasts, sticking little babies in ovens, killing people, mutilating people, raping women to death. Did the reporters do anything? No, it's another dead Jew. But October 7th was the blow up. There was never peace because the Palestinians from the West Bank or Gaza would have work visas to come across and work in Israel, because there's no industry in Gaza, there's no industry in the West Bank. The culture is, we kill Jews. We don't have to learn to read or write. We don't have to do anything but know how to kill Jews.
Yeah. Pull a trigger.
So when these people would come across with their work visas, you know what happened in New Orleans? That's what would happen in Israel. They'd drive a truck into people waiting for buses. They would bring knives and stab women or children or people at the buses and kill them. And they were arrested and convicted of murder and terrorism. and there are about 1,000 of these Palestinians in jail, more than 200 of whom are convicted of murder. Okay? And they say that Hamas, the poor Palestinians, 46,000 killed. Not enough.
Right.
Not enough. So, what is this deal? This deal is that in exchange for 33 hostages, including 7 Americans who've been held for over 500 days, 33 hostages, half of whom are dead, so we're getting bodies. Hundreds of murderous Palestinians convicted of murder are being released, and the ceasefire goes into effect. This is your deal, Mr. Trump? This is your deal, the betrayal of Israel? Israel is bound by the Geneva Convention. So those Palestinian prisoners have been fed, housed, clothed, given exercise. But the hostages in Gaza have been tortured, starved, not seen the daylight, and we don't know how many are alive, how many there are, where are they, what's going on. And so when Iran was enriched, not only did they attack Israel by arming Hamas and Hezbollah and everything like that, they armed the Houthis, who are savages in bathrobes, who shot down American drones and disabled transport in the Red Sea. They also attacked American bases in the Middle East. Who defended America? Israel. Little Israel, because Biden wouldn't. Just like he gave up those people in Afghanistan, he wouldn't defend Americans in the Middle East. So what did he do when Israel defended Americans? He cut their arms. So Americans would die, Israelis would die, and Iran would prevail. What did he say to the Ayatollah? Push me another check. I'm Joe Biden. I need to enrich myself. Or maybe you want to buy one of my son's paintings. Okay? And the Americans, whose military is incompetent, started shooting down their own planes.
Oh, good grief.
Yeah.
Huh.
So
Well, didn't Joe Biden in his farewell speech take credit for everything that happened?
he was a genius in foreign policy.
Yeah,
The world is on
yeah.
fire. So Israel is demanding to retain control of what's called the Philadelphia Corridor. This is the 9-mile border between Egypt and Gaza. And why is this important? Because there is a tunnel system between Egypt and Gaza that is quite sophisticated. You can drive a troop carrier through. And President El-Sisi of Egypt, his son makes a living smuggling arms and people. So I'm sure Biden felt, well, if I pimp out my son, you can pimp out yours. We all need to get rich. And these tunnels were built and designed by the Chinese. And we know this because Israel captured 2 of the Chinese scientists. Biden threatened Netanyahu to release these scientists. And I guess he said to President Xi, push me another check. I need to enrich myself. Or you can buy one of my son's paintings, another one. So why was this wrong for America, these Chinese scientists? Well, I'll tell you why. In another America-hating move, what Biden did, the Chinese have become adept at building islands in the South China Sea. The purpose of this is to extend their influence because with the sea, you have so many miles of ownership from the land you own or some stuff like that. I'm not an expert on that, but that's the purpose of building these islands. But there's more to it. On these islands are tunnels built by these Chinese engineers. And in these tunnels, they are constructing nuclear submarines. We do know that China's naval capacity exceeds ours. How much? We don't know because these subs are in these tunnels. So instead of interrogating these tunnel building engineers,
Right.
Biden let them go. He compromised American security again and
Yeah, I was
again
going to say
and
not for the
again.
first time. Yeah.
And the fact is that Israel was holding the line, and now Trump has screwed Israel. And I can't tell you how disappointed I am. This is the guy who brags about the art of the deal, and he got some guy with ties to Qatar to negotiate this deal. Well, this deal sucks. Okay, this deal was Biden's, and yes, the cabinet nearly fell apart because these hostages are dead. And what needs to be done is that Gaza needs to be raised like an LA fire. Let's bring in Gavin Newsom. He knows how to destroy land. And all these tunnels need to be broken up, bombed, flooded, destroyed. You have an entire culture. Now you have all these miles of Mediterranean Sea. You could have a resort nation where everybody's rich, but they don't want that. They want to kill Jews. They want to destroy Israel. And the fact is that when Israel left the last time, they left these greenhouses that produce 3 or 4 times as much produce as if you just had the land. And what did Hamas do? They destroyed them because they don't care about the population. The population doesn't care about anything except creating babies to kill Jews. These are, and people who worry about the poor Palestinians, they are subhuman. And half of them are in our country. They cross the southern border. And Biden doesn't care.
Oh,
Okay, because he has his ice cream in his diaper, and that's okay. And so here is Joe Biden.
We got, in conclusion, our country has really profited from my presidency. And then he's thinking, I know my family and I have.
So here you have Biden's legacy.
Yeah, Biden. We got
That man who's a woman, who's
a general,
he's a general, and that's his girlfriend or his boyfriend.
Stop that! Really, they're together?
Yeah.
I was always wondering what that other the thin one, who the hell that even was.
I don't know.
But I see them in memes all the time and everything.
So.
Oh, and then we got a 50s gal sipping a cup of tea, and she says they're deliberately using DEI to diagnose sabotage, to disguise sabotage as incompetence. You know that, right?
Okay, so let's talk about DEI in the military. My pet peeve is Kings Point, the Coast Guard Merchant Marine Academy.
Right.
I was listening to the news the other day, and they were interviewing this lady from Northern California who was in Washington for the inauguration. And she was saying, "Oh, my son is in the Merchant Marine Academy. I am so proud of him." Well, lady, do you really know what's going on there? At Kings Point, the inmates are running the asylum. These are high school graduates who can barely read or write. They have no capacity to think. They can't add 2 and 2. The faculty and staff live in fear of the students. If you hurt their feelings, you receive a reprimand or a suspension from Washington. They send up the DEI team, people who have degrees in gender dissemination or gender designation or some useless piece
Gender
of crap.
affirming or something.
Oh,
I don't know.
Yeah, never heard of it. And no chairman or faculty member will stick up for you. If a student accuses you, everybody backs away because they're so afraid of losing their jobs or getting a reprimand or a letter.
You know what I've always thought was weird about it? Like we just showed those pictures of the generals, and and they've got their hair and their this and that. Didn't the military have a very strict dress code at
I'm
one
getting
point?
to that.
Oh, you are? Okay, good.
Can you imagine going into battle unable to trust the man or woman next to you? You're in battle, and he or she's going to stand up and say, "Oh, my feelings are hurt. Shoot here." Can you imagine this is what's going on? And I don't know if it's in every military academy, but it's at Kings Point. So the man in charge of sexual harassment matters posted on social media that white men are the downfall of America. Of course, he's a white male. So if you're a white male and brought before him, how can you he's under investigation by the military and he's still in his position.
If you ever hear a white man complaining about white people and the problem with white people, that's bullshit.
So some years ago at Kings Point, the senior class was involved in a cheating scandal. How many of them involved? I don't recall. I don't know. They decided to do nothing.
Huh.
So a bunch of lying, cheating pieces of shit students are now sailing the seas in charge of America's defense. Aren't you secure? So the professor was afraid to speak out, so they graduated. The students show up in dirty uniforms with wrong name tags, unkempt, unshaven, and professors who are mandated to discipline are afraid because you're going to hurt their feelings. Just as my brother, Commander Peter Schneider, hurt the feelings of, he teaches economics, business. He said marriage can be a wealth builder because you have two incomes. Well, one girl was offended. Ooh, I'm from a single family home and you hurt my feelings. With a fact, she reported him to Washington. And the DEI squad came up to investigate.
Marlene pointed out that the thin dude next to the other dude was that's why I knew about them.
Steals women's luggage.
Yes,
oh
he was all over the news for doing it, and he was the head of nuclear waste disposal, and he's running around dressed as a girl in airports, stealing women's luggage so he can get women's clothing.
Theft is now not illegal.
Oh, well, that's great.
Yeah.
Well, shopping's going to be easier.
So when my brother returned to class, the ringleader of these hurt feelings sat in his class in the front row, flossing his teeth for the entire hour. Why don't you pull out your dick and clean your smegma? Okay? If you're going to do personal, if of course you can find your dick.
Yeah.
Okay? You need a surgeon in there to slice and dice because I mean, really? So these entitled pieces of crap high school grads can't even think through a problem, add 2 and 2, yet expect an A. If they don't get an A, you've hurt their feelings. They will report you to Washington. And once again, the DEI squad shows up. These are our future officers. So the Coast Guard is not under the military, it's under the Department of Transportation. Don't ask me to explain. So that would be Kristi Noem, I believe. Are you going to fix this? Secretary Hegseth, are you going to fix this? Are you going to fire every DEI piece of crap that's corrupting our military? So, and one more thing about Kings Point, and this broke my heart.
And this says, and we give them a stuffed animal.
I like that. A teddy bear.
Yeah. Plushies.
Yeah. So they appointed a supervisor for Kings Point,
Yeah.
a DEI hire. And what was the first thing she did? Well, of course, there's a chapel on Kings Point, and in it for 80 years hung a gorgeous, huge oil painting donated by Walter Chrysler, which showed a ship being lost at sea, and Jesus Christ appears to gather the sailors to him, to save them. I mean, it is beautiful.
Beautiful,
There
yeah.
is salvation. We are a Christian nation.
Yeah.
So the DEI supervisor comes in and takes a shower curtain, a bathroom shower curtain, and hangs it over the painting because she finds it offensive. If you find Jesus Christ offensive, go to Gaza. You'll get the treatment you deserve. And then it wasn't enough to cover the painting. She removed it from the chapel. How dare you? How dare you? Okay, so where are the secretaries? What's going to happen? And it is. I mean, I can't even begin
Yeah.
to tell you how upset I am. So
I'm annoyed. Like, why a shower curtain? There was like no sheets, nothing. A shower curtain? That seems more of a hassle than it needs to be.
the ultimate
Like they went out of their way.
The ultimate disrespect.
Yeah.
How dare you cover up salvation?
Mm.
All of us need salvation, not one of us.
Oh.
And she found that offensive.
Yeah.
So Trump, they're touting the fact that Trump is a convicted felon to be sworn in as president. This was a product of a weaponized Department of Justice, including Mershon, Alvin Bragg, Judge Engeron, and Letitia James, all of whom should be disbarred and possibly prosecuted. Will it happen? Nah, they're going to get a pass. Americans saw through this. So it actually amazes me that Kamala got as many votes as she did. You can't fix stupid.
Yeah.
So Trump, in campaigning, stated his agenda very clearly. And just to go back a minute, this lawfare, the Mershon case, involved an expired entry into a ledger, which had been investigated and found to be blameless. And Alvin Bragg resurrected it and turned it into 34 felonies. And that made it federal, and Mershon had no jurisdiction, but he wouldn't give up the case. He was conflicted because his daughter got at least $19 million from Biden, but he wouldn't give up the case. He refused to allow Trump defense people to speak, but he wouldn't give up the case. He said he didn't have presidential immunity, but then he has due process as a citizen. Nah, not Trump. Again, they should be disbarred. This is an illegal conviction. Besides, who was the criminal? Who was the victim? There was none. Judge Engeron stated at the beginning of the case, I know the verdict already. And Letitia James also brought a phony case, criminal case with no victim. These are people that need to be disbarred and convicted and prosecuted. So in the campaign, Trump stated his agenda very clearly. Biden has done everything to derail the Trump agenda, which is not just the Trump agenda. It is the will of the American people. But Biden is a vile, corrupt, mean piece of crap, and he doesn't care about what the Americans want.
Yeah.
All he cares about is enriching himself and his family. He has total contempt for America and her citizens. He should be hanged in the public square following the inauguration, but sadly, Trump doesn't have the cojones to do it. So, here's
So, who do we have here? We got a judge,
Judge Mershon.
Mershon, and he says, I think we've proven that Trump's conviction is on as firm a legal footing as my reputation. Godspeed, convicted felon. Godspeed.
Right. No sentence, no nothing. The whole idea was for show. You know, we used to have law and order in this country. We just have weaponization.
Yeah.
So
That shows how fake the previous administration really was. It was bullshit.
no,
And
it was there to terrorize the American people,
yeah,
enrich the
Mhm.
people in power, and destroy Trump. If you couldn't bankrupt him, you were going to shoot him. Hey, has anybody heard about the shooter from Butler? No, that disappeared, didn't
No.
it? So frankly,
well, look how long we had the laptop from hell, and nothing was done. Nothing.
right. And in that laptop from hell, which was from 2012, they reported that Biden was showing signs of dementia. But I'm going to get to that in a minute.
Okay.
So Monday's the inauguration. It's also the birthday or the day we celebrate Martin Luther King. And this is what he said.
To ignore evil is to become accomplice to it.
And I guess he gets greater every year, huh?
Mm-hmm.
So thank God they're having the inauguration indoors. The Capitol Police have already indicated that they would not protect Trump. So
What? Unbelievable. Like strip everything away from the man. He's a citizen of the United States, right?
he is the president of the
Yeah.
United States.
Right.
And the fact is that everyone who signed on to that needs to be fired. Everyone in the DOJ needs to be fired. The FBI needs to be fired. They say they're going to see who's honest and who's not. No, they're all complicit. It's like the Gazans in people in Gaza. They are all complicit. There are no innocents. There are no innocents. Let's stop making excuses for people who are toxic, who are bent on world destruction. We have enough of that. So Trump is allegedly prepared to sign more than 100 executive orders on day one. Of course, there's going to be blowback from liberal judges who've been appointed by Biden. Any judge who makes an unconstitutional ruling, like that woman who said illegals can vote, should be disbarred. You swore an oath to uphold the Constitution. If you do not, there have to be consequences. We can no longer have any tolerance for criminals. The cabinet members that Trump has chosen are very well qualified. They will be confirmed despite opposition from the Dems led by Schumer. The attacks have all been personal, ill-prepared, and ridiculous. Don't you hate women who come off like little bitches? Yeah. No wonder they're in Congress, because their husbands don't want them at home. But more than that, the Democrats, the complete denial of the damage to America that Biden has caused. It is so extensive that I'm not 100% sure that Trump can fix it. He might be able to get us on the way, but what Biden has done to America shows his absolute hatred and subservience to China. And China needed a plant in the White House because China has problems of its own. The economy is not growing. The population is dying because of the one-child policy, which actually started in 70. So they aborted all these baby girls. And okay, they had boys, but guess what? You need a girl to have a baby. It doesn't matter how many genders you think there are. You need a boy and a girl, and there are no girls.
I don't know. I've been hearing differently lately. What's
Yeah,
going on?
Yeah. So what else has Biden has destroyed our economy, our border, small business. I just spoke about these people struggling to survive and working in the cold and suffering. I mean, I can't last 5 minutes out there.
Oh no, I'm 50. I'll be 51 in a couple months.
Baby.
Yeah, I'm feeling it now. I'm feeling it for the first time in my life. Like I've always loved the cold weather. I liked it better than the hot, but I am wrapping myself up now, and I'm realizing this is me going forward.
And
Yeah.
it's disappointment, isn't it?
Oh my God, yeah.
And he's destroyed jobs and the pardons. So far, the level of pardons he's issued exceeds the 10 prior presidents. I mean, it's astonishing. And
Yeah.
pardons have to come with a vetting. You have to have a justification. He ignored that. He pardoned cop killers, murderers, rapists, Agua. He just took the death sentence away from a gang member, Agua,
Yeah.
who killed 7 people.
Jesus.
And
So when you're covering your ass, you got to check how big that guy's ass is, and Biden's got a big ass to cover.
So he completely thumbed his nose at the American people, all while being senile. And he gave medals to America's enemies. Can you believe
That's unreal.
he gave a medal to George Soros, who donated $80 million for the takedown of America, and Biden gave him a medal. Hillary Clinton, who robbed America, got a medal. Liz Cheney, who had an illegal investigation of J6, was given a medal
for that.
And I wonder if she'll get a pardon. Wonder if that will be enough to nullify the pardons. Probably not. Probably not.
It's like Oprah. You get a pardon. You get a pardon.
And what did he do when the drones were all over America gathering information? Well, the joke is that these were people seeking to come into America before Trump gets into office and puts in the Remain in Mars policy.
Yeah. We know they just stopped talking about those drones, didn't they? I mean,
yeah, well, they gathered all the information they need so China can attack us. They already have at least 50,000 military-age men in this country that came in through the southern border, along with murderers, terrorists, and criminals from at least 180 different countries. Tom Homan, I'm hoping he starts somewhere because all these people need to go. And anybody who's going to have a sanctuary city. Now, the courts blocked Trump's executive order in 2018 that denied federal aid to any sanctuary city. Well, screw that. Mm-hmm. Okay? Any mayor or governor or congressman who tries to protect illegal aliens, and then they say, oh, they're hardworking, they're not criminal. Ab initio, from the start, they have broken the law by coming in here illegally, and they need to go. They are stealing jobs from Americans. They are stealing resources. We spend Yes, the January 6th committee did destroy all the files.
Hey, Justin.
So we have been spending hundreds of billions of dollars on these illegals while Americans can't put bread on the table.
Right.
Okay, they can't make ends meet. They can't pay the rent. But these illegals get cell phones, luxury hotels, whatever they need.
Most of us are like paycheck to paycheck now because we can't afford anything.
So it started.
We can't even afford to save up. That's the problem. If you're able to just at least, cover your bills and all of that.
You can't even cover your bills.
Yeah, but I mean, if you could,
And
for some people, there's no saving beyond that.
And in North Carolina, the people are still living in tents, and they've been kicked out of hotels by FEMA.
Oh, goodness.
$750 to each family. That's not even going to get you through the week with food. And Biden has emptied out the federal treasury. $1.8 trillion was left in there, and he has given it away. He has sent it to Ukraine, his friends, his buddies, projects, whatever he can to thwart Trump. He should be hanged. So,
and he gave everybody, not just Trump. He called all of us election deniers, and we were domestic terrorists. And this is how you're acting when you're squeaking out. You're sneaking up in the dark.
We are the threat to democracy.
Yeah.
No, he was, and he's calling out oligarchs. The reason the Dems are so angry is that they don't want to give up power.
Yeah.
They don't care what the American people want. They want their power and their richness. And Mazie Hirono, that piece of crap from Hawaii senator, whose first question was, "Did you ever sexually assault someone?" She sounded like she was drunk. She probably was.
Right.
These Dems were ill prepared. All they did was attack personally the people who are the nominees for different departments, but they're all well prepared. They're all very respectful. And none of these senators, these Democrat senators, deserve the respect.
Yeah.
But they held it together better than I would have. So as for Joe's mental capacity, viewers who've been with me for years know we called this out 4 years ago.
Yeah.
You didn't need 40 years of medical training to see that Biden was compromised. So the cover-up, though, by the Democrats and the media is criminal. Aside from the fact that Biden will go down as the worst president in American history, it's worse than that. He has committed treason. He is a traitor. And the cover-up is criminal. Instead of the media covering real news, they were in Washington covering up Joe's senility. How much money did he pay them of taxpayer money to be in on it? Or maybe they got to drink champagne in Washington and be enriched while they hid the truth from the American people. Will that be investigated? Trump is not a vindictive man, and he probably doesn't have the time to go back and prosecute, but he has to.
Yeah.
He has to. It has to be done for the future of America, just like George Washington hanged Major Andre, who helped Benedict Arnold and was found out of uniform. There have to be consequences to actions. We have to go back to what the founding fathers wanted, what this nation was based upon: integrity, honesty, truth, and the Bible. And there have to be consequences for treason and crimes against America. Can Trump fix America? So we're going, years and years ago, New Yorkers will remember this. there's a skating rink in the middle of Manhattan called the Woolman Arena, right by Rockefeller Center. And it wasn't working. And one mayor after another tried to fix it. This went on for 13 years, maybe even longer. Finally someone said, well, let's ask Donald Trump, that, smart-ass kid real estate developer. He had it fixed in 3 months, up and working, and it is still functional. Can he do it for America? I don't know. So here you have an idiot.
Oh yeah, and on the mat, she's wearing a mask, and it says, "I'm just not ready to accept that everything I believe was a lie."
And the thing is, so it was supposed to be a battle against the pandemic
Oh yeah,
to protect the people.
we got a soldier on his knee. He looks like it's a bazooka, but it's actually a hypodermic needle. And the caption says, it was supposed to be a battle against the pandemic to protect the people. It became a battle against the people to protect the pandemic. Just 2 weeks to flatten the curve.
So this was a planned catastrophe. I'm sure Fauci will receive a pardon or a medal prior to Joe's leaving. He's getting a pension of $400,000 a year, in addition to a driving and a team that protects, a protection team. So, like I say, let's talk about California, California was once the most beautiful state in the world, really. And there are beautiful places all over the world, and California was a showcase. But here we have the LA Fire Department.
Yeah, it says the LAFD emergency line. What are your pronouns first? The dispatcher says. Yeah. Oh, and then we got Nero Newsom playing a violin while was that the Capitol burning down?
LA is burning.
Oh, while LA is burning, making smelt great again.
Yes, so apparently all of this unpreparedness was to protect a little fish called the smelt. No one has seen it in 10 years, but they use that as an excuse to let the reservoirs run dry. That's why the hydrants had no water. This communist mayor of LA, Karen Bass, decreased the fire budget, even though there've been small fires in LA over the years. She fired people from the fire department. She sent firefighting equipment to Ukraine. America last.
And we got another one. We got
Gavin Newsom.
Gavin Newsom holding a fish bowl and with a little goldfish in it. I did it, California. I saved the fish.
Again, the smelt hasn't been seen in 10 years.
Yeah.
And the fact is that it's not just LA, it's the entire forest system, which has to be managed in a specific way. You have to clean out the underbrush. I'm not a forestry expert, but they have these people out there. And Gavin Newsom did nothing except put gel in his hair. So.
Yeah, so LA County, 72 genders, 0 operational fire hydrants.
So when the firefighters hooked up, there was no water. So what they were doing was hooking up to private homes, but you don't have the pressure and you don't have the draw. And that's why they were unable to stop the fires. And so
And now we've got U.S. breaking news. Gay choirs, trans cafes, and social justice art. What LA spent money on while cutting its fire budget.
So an example of how you can fix stupid.
A transgender mental person with crying their eyes out and screaming. Our Democrat governor and mayor are destroying everything. I'm done. Next time I'm voting for a different Democrat.
You can't
You
fix
can't-
stupid.
Yeah, you can't fix stupid. And then we've got, who are they?
Karen Bass, the mayor of LA, and
Okay.
Gavin Newsom
Gavin Newsom holding
saying, fire us.
Yeah.
But no one's doing anything because they're willing to tolerate it. So the rich are leaving California at record levels. The poor, who lost everything, are of course going to suffer the most because there were a lot of little trailer parks and small homes. And a lot of these places were built 50 years ago with wood. You know, this was before the buildup and the rich people came in with their multi-million-dollar homes. They're not going to rebuild. They're going to move on to Utah or Idaho or wherever rich people go, or Florida or Texas. And they have second homes, third homes, fourth homes, and they don't care. But once again, the poor will suffer.
Yeah.
And if and California expects a federal handout. In the meantime, they gave Gavin Newsom $25 million to fight Trump. What the heck is going on? Your people are in the streets. 180,000 people are homeless. And you're going to fight Trump? In the meantime, in North Carolina, that's months ago. You haven't fixed that. Biden didn't fix it.
Right.
These people are in tents with no water or electric. It's brutally cold out. They have nothing. So nothing changes. And not only do Gavin Newsom and Karen Barr need to be prosecuted, they need to be convicted and imprisoned. Will they be? Nah. Because the bigger the crime, the less the consequences.
Yeah.
You murder one person, you're a murderer. You murder 1,000, you're a conqueror. So this is me.
Unvaccinated conservative.
Unvaccinated.
I'm sorry, unvaccinated conservative meat eating gun owner. How else can I offend you today? Yeah, right.
We need to get back to that.
How come we can't believe in something, but everybody else is telling us what to believe in?
We believe in the Constitution,
Right.
the rule of law, God, and the Bible.
Mm-hmm.
They believe in anarchy and the destruction of America. These are people who hate America.
And they also believe in making you believe what they believe. That's the bullshit.
You cannot have a conversation with a liberal,
right?
Because they want to destroy you.
Oh my God.
You are not allowed to have a separate thought. Their ultimate goal is your destruction.
Do you know how many like celebrities, once I found out their politics, or if I hear them ranting or something like that, I can't watch a Robert De Niro movie anymore. I can't.
Nope.
How doesn't that blow? Like I couldn't without fuming. And there were a couple of his movies I really liked.
And the fact that they supported Kamala,
Yeah.
who is so stupid and has absolutely nothing to talk about.
Yeah, but he took the check. He took the check. How many others? Mark Hamill, Luke Skywalker took the check, and all it did was destroy their rep and their fan base. They're destroying their fan base over this.
They don't care. They already have millions in the bank.
Yeah, I know. They're older. They've had their heyday. Now they just need some more cash to get them through the rest of their days.
So for the rest of our days, we need a little God.
Yeah.
And so my first quote is from Ephesians 2:18. It is through Christ that all of us, Jews and Gentiles, are able to come in the one Spirit into the presence of the Father. And Psalm 39, Lord, let me know my end and what is the measure of my days. Let me know how fleeting my life is. Lord, have mercy.
Yeah. Perspective, right?
And for the coming week, I have a Monday morning prayer to get you through because it's going to be freaking cold on Monday. And I'm like dreading it. And hopefully I'll have help. Dear Lord, thank you for waking me up this morning. I pray you keep my mind positive and ready for this new week. I know whatever happens, I am equipped to handle it. I choose to enter the week positively, knowing you have gone before me. You know both the joys and exchanges I will face, the joys and challenges I will face this week. And you have given me the ability to face them all without becoming frustrated or overwhelmed.
Yeah.
In Jesus' name I pray, amen.
That's beautiful. You have better eyes than me. I could not read that.
So I got this prayer from my good friend Gloria Ferraris, who's 88. And I speak to her almost every day. And she is a treasure, and I am privileged to have her as my friend. So in any event,
Well, we still need to see the shirt of the week.
well, it's just,
I like it. I love it. In fact, it's like the
Well-
Superman symbol, but with the American flag in it. You know, that's class. I like that. I would wear that shirt. I would
because
totally wear that shirt.
I still believe in America.
Yeah.
I still believe she's the greatest nation in the history of the world. I have to believe that we can save her if we come together. But I also believe that there have to be consequences for those who tried to destroy her.
Yeah.
Without faith and belief, we are lost. And I think of Jesus coming to save the sailors, now hidden in some basement, hopefully to be liberated soon. So with that thought, I leave you this week. If you need me, I'm in Toms River, 732-244-2060.
And your phone
Call
number?
me if you need me.
Yeah.
244-2060.
Oh, yeah, you did say it. Okay.
And I'm there if you need me.
Yeah.
Have a great week. And for goodness sake, stay warm because it's going to be another challenge this week.
Yeah.
Okay, take care, everyone. I love you.
Take care, everyone. For more information about Dr. Barbara Schneider and all these wonderful things we talk about on our show, please go see barb.com. You take care, everybody.